Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. I want to talk about the fan base. I want to talk about beat writers. I want to talk about radio hosts. I want to talk about content creators, New York Giants fans in general. No matter where you're at in life, I want to talk about the mind state of the New York Giants and how divided this team or this fan base really is. And it's crazy to me how people that support the same team can see things so differently. We're all human beings at the end of the day. We're all entitled to our opinions. But at the end of the day, how can it be such a wide gap of what people believe and what people think and what people perceive as top prospects or team needs or biggest holes, stuff like I don't understand it. And you know what? I'm not going to try to understand it anymore. I'm going to have my opinion. I'm going to listen to other people's opinion and just know that the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. So I was able to sleep on it, reflect, think about the Jameis Winston signing on Friday night. Did a live. Shout out to everybody that was vibing with me during the live. Shout out to the people with the birthday wishes too. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. My initial reaction with Jameis Winston was this. At least we're not waiting for Aaron Rodgers anymore. That was my very first thought. At least we don't look as desperate as we did a day ago. That was my thoughts. Or the Aaron Rodgers stuff is over. But guess what? Here we are, Monday, about to be Tuesday, and the Aaron Rodgers stuff really isn't over yet. Why? Because people still trying to drum things up. So I see that, you know what, the New York Giants, just because the New York Giants got Jameis Winston doesn't mean they're out of the veteran quarterback market. They might look to add 2 veteran quarterbacks. I'm assuming this is insurance just in case the New York Giants are unable to draft a top quarterback in the first round. With that third pick, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, most likely Shedeur Sanders because Cam Ward is almost 100% a Tennessee Titan. He had the pro day today. He looked fantastic. The man's release is one of the fastest I've seen. He looks smooth. He looks nonchalant out there. Yeah, arm on display. It looks like he's going to be the number 1 pick, which a lot of people already figured that out, right? A lot of people already figured that out. But the question is, what are the Browns going to do? Because everybody knows what the New York Giants are going to do. Most likely. Well, at least I should say about 75% what the New York Giants are going to do. And it all depends on who's there at 3. Now, I'm going to say this with the most confidence. If Shedeur Sanders is available at 3, the New York Giants are going to 100% take him. Now, depending on how you feel about it, how you feel about Shedeur Sanders, you got to deal with it. Some people will be ecstatic. Some people will be horrified. But at the end of the day, if the New York Giants are at 3 and Shedeur Sanders is available, I will bet a lot of money that the New York Giants are going to take Shedeur Sanders if he's there. But let's rewind it a little bit. It all depends on what the Cleveland Browns are feeling and what they decide to do. Now, they have a chance to add a fantastic defensive weapon in Abdul Carter. They have a chance to add a dynamic best player in the draft guy like Travis Hunter. And they also have a chance to get a franchise quarterback as well because they think highly of Shedeur Sanders too. I was in the Browns spaces listening to Browns fans talk about Shedeur Sanders, and I was like, wow. I wish that the Giants fan base sounded like this because guess what? They seem to know what they're talking about. And Browns fans seem to know what they're talking about. And you know why it was such an eye-opening thing for me is because not all of them agreed, but some of the stuff they were saying reminded me of Giants fans. One of the things that they said was, how many times are we going to do this? How many times are we going to try to go for the weapon when we knew all along we needed a quarterback? And I said, wow, that sounds just like some Giants fans. Always want to go for the defensive weapon or offensive weapon, knowing doggone well you need a quarterback, but you know what? Because that quarterback isn't quite my guy, I'm willing to pass on a quarterback. Last year, I wanted a quarterback bad. A lot of people were talking about the Drake May stuff, and the New York Giants were trying to trade up with the Patriots to get Drake May. And listen, Drake May wasn't my top quarterback. He wasn't my top pick. I liked a bunch of other quarterbacks more than Drake May, but I understood what the assignment was. The New York Giants needed a quarterback, so if we were trading up, even if it was for a quarterback that I did not like completely or had some question marks for, I was still down with the Drake May selection if we would have got there. Because at the end of the day, it's about the betterment of the team. Fast forward to this year. 2 top quarterback prospects. Giants on the outside looking in again. And instead of a unified front saying, yo, we gotta try to get one of these quarterbacks. We gotta trade up to 1, or we gotta try to get to 2 and get Shedeur Sanders, or if he falls to us, we should get No. They're talking about adding Abdul Carter to an edge room where he's going to have to compete with Kayvon Thibodeau for snaps. Most likely. Why? Because Kayvon Thibodeau is another first-round guy that they want to, it looks bad when top guys don't perform for the regime. You already got Evan Neal and his struggles. And now we're talking about getting the guy that's most likely going to replace Kayvon Thibodeau before you even got a chance to really see Kayvon Thibodeau's prime. And that's for a lot of reasons. Some people just think he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the hustle. I will say this. When you look at a lot of other teams and you look at a lot of guys that got a lot of sacks and stuff like that, just think about the teams they play for, the strengths of those defenses. Team possibly playing with a lead. When you have the lead on the team, they're stuck in passing situations. You can pin your ears back and blitz the quarterback. New York Giants are rarely in that situation. We got to play it honest all the time. So in most cases, a lot of our top edge rushers don't have the kind of sack numbers of other guys. Why? I just explained it to you. Brian Burns, viewed as one of the up-and-coming edge rushers in the league, but how many sacks did he have? Kayvon Thibodeau coming out of college. At one point in time, he was one of the top prospects, or the top prospect at a certain part in the draft process. Look how many sacks he had. Sometimes it's not just the player. It could be the scheme. It could be the people that they're playing with. It could be the offense as well. Sustain a drive. Give your defense a chance to get a breather, a proper breather. Keep them fresh as much as possible. These guys were dog tired for years. And all of this takes a toll on how a defense looks, on how a team looks. So I really don't think that the New York Giants are looking at Abdul Carter. Do you possibly trade back in that situation if Shedeur Sanders is not there? Do you take Travis Hunter? I look at what the New York Giants did in the offseason. They addressed the cornerback position. They addressed the wide receiver position by bringing back Darius Slayton and paying him a decent amount of money. So where does Travis Hunter fall in this situation now? I do believe this, though, and I said this in another spaces over the weekend. I said if we were to draft Travis Hunter, there's no way Tay Banks is starting at CB2. He automatically becomes the second best cornerback on our team. I believe that. It's just something that you draft him that high. Tay Banks is not doing what you want him to do, or he's not reaching the heights that you want him to reach. If we draft Travis Hunter, he is absolutely going to be CB2 over Tay Banks. So is Travis Hunter going to be the pick? Do you trade back? Another gap that we have, or hole I should say that we have on the defense, is next to Dexter Lawrence. Mason Graham is another name that you can put up there. Are you sold enough to take Mason Graham at 3? If we don't have Shedeur Sanders, I would take Mason Graham at 3 if Shedeur Sanders is not an option. And also, the New York Giants address the defensive line a lot now. It's a lot of backup and rotational guys that they added in free agency for the defensive line. But still, Joe Schoen has done enough where you don't have to force that. So the Giants have options here. I don't want the options. I want the quarterback. I'll say that. But the New York Giants have options here. And I probably won't be surprised at any of the moves that they make. There's only one move, actually, that would surprise me if they did it. Going back to what I said about 5 minutes ago. If the New York Giants are sitting there at 3 and Shedeur Sanders is available, if the New York Giants pass on Shedeur Sanders, that will be the only thing that shocks me in this draft. Period. You don't go sign Jameis Winston and not give up, but give up on Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson or pick these guys if you don't have a strong feeling that you can get something done and get up and get your quarterback. I don't think you make that move without that. I don't think you do that. But we got about a month left. I'm a little bit anxious, a lot of bit scared, but can't wait for the draft to get. I can't wait for this to be over. I can't wait for it to be over. It is stressful. I can't wait to talk about it. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to live through draft night and finally see what happens. Now, if we make a move before the draft, fantastic. If we are able to get to the number 1 pick, fantastic. The stress goes away immediately. But if we get to the draft, Tennessee Titans take Cam Ward, Cleveland Browns are on the clock. For that time that the Cleveland Browns are going to be on the clock, I'm probably going to be terrified, petrified, mortified. Shout out to Jesse Jackson. Yeah. Well, that's going to be the video. I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And for one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.